Could you survive being swallowed by an anaconda? It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but today, we're exploring the terrifying reality of what happens when an anaconda swallows you alive, and the incredibly slim odds of making it out alive. Anacondas are the heavyweight champions of the snake world. The green anaconda, the largest of the anaconda species, can reach lengths of over 20 feet and weigh over 500 pounds. That's longer than a car and heavier than a refrigerator. These snakes are incredibly strong, with muscular bodies that allow them to constrict and overpower prey much larger than themselves. Now, you might be thinking, but how could a snake that big possibly swallow a human? Well, it's all thanks to their amazing jaws and teeth. Unlike our jaws, which are fused, anaconda jaws are connected by flexible ligaments. This allows them to stretch their mouths incredibly wide, far beyond what we could ever imagine. Their teeth are also specially designed for gripping and holding on to prey, not for chewing. So they don't need to tear their food into smaller pieces before swallowing. Once the prey is swallowed, it enters the anaconda's powerful digestive system. Anacondas have incredibly strong stomach acids and enzymes that can break down even the toughest of meals. In fact, one study found that an anaconda was able to completely dissolve the skin of an alligator in just 3 days. Okay, so we know anacondas are big and strong, with jaws that can stretch to incredible widths. But how do they actually catch their prey? Do they chase them down like a cheetah or a lion? Not quite. Anacondas are what we call ambush predators. This means they rely on stealth and surprise to catch their meals. They're masters of camouflage, blending in perfectly with their dark surroundings. They'll often lie submerged in the water with only their eyes and nostrils above the surface, patiently waiting for an unsuspecting animal to come within striking distance. When a potential meal wanders too close, the anaconda strikes with lightning speed. It grabs its prey with its sharp teeth and then quickly coils its powerful body around it. This is where the anaconda's true strength comes into play. Anacondas are constrictors, which means they kill their prey by squeezing the life out of it. Opposite to popular belief, anacondas don't crush their prey's bones. Instead, they squeeze tight enough to prevent the animal from inhaling. With each exhale, the anaconda tightens its grip, making it harder and harder for the prey to breathe. Eventually, the prey suffocates and dies. Once the prey is dead, the anaconda begins the incredible feat of swallowing it whole. It uses its powerful muscles and flexible jaws to maneuver the meal down its throat, no matter how large it may be. Okay, let's get to the heart of the matter. What would actually happen if an anaconda swallowed us? Let's try to imagine this terrifying and hopefully hypothetical scenario. First, picture yourself trekking through the Amazon rainforest. You're exploring a dense green swamp with air thick with humidity. Suddenly, you feel something powerful wrap around your legs, pulling you off your feet. You look down to see the massive rings of an anaconda tightening around your body. The anaconda's grip is incredibly strong. It feels like your bones are about to break. You struggle to breathe as the snake squeezes tighter and tighter. The world starts to spin, and darkness closes in. This is the reality of being constricted by an anaconda. It's a terrifying experience that would likely lead to unconsciousness within seconds. Anacondas are incredibly efficient killers, and their constriction method is designed to quickly overpower their prey. We've somehow survived the initial constriction, and now we're facing the prospect of being swallowed whole. The anaconda begins by opening its jaws to an incredible width. Remember those flexible ligaments we talked about? They allow the snake to stretch its mouth far wider than its head, accommodating prey much larger than itself. As the anaconda's mouth swallows us, we might feel its sharp teeth scratching our skin. But don't worry, these teeth are primarily for gripping and holding, not for chewing. Anacondas swallow their prey whole, so we won't be torn into pieces. Next, we'll encounter a flood of saliva. Anacondas produce copious amounts of saliva to lubricate their prey, making it easier to swallow. It might feel a bit slimy and uncomfortable, but it's all part of the process. Now, here comes the really fascinating part. Anacondas use a technique called jaw walking to pull their prey down their throats. Just think how different it would be when we notice the snake's jaws moving independently, like tiny legs, walking over our body and pulling us deeper and deeper into its throat. It's an abnormal and slightly unsettling image, but it's a testament to the incredible adaptability of these creatures. Once we're past the jaws, we'll enter the esophagus, the muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. The anaconda's esophageal muscles will contract rhythmically, pushing us further down towards the stomach. The snake might even contort its body and ribs to help squeeze us down. It's an enclosed and terrifying journey, but thankfully, it would likely be relatively quick. We're about to enter the anaconda's stomach. Now, in reality, we'd likely be unconscious, or worse, by this point. But for the sake of our thought experiment, let's imagine we're still conscious and able to observe our surroundings. The first thing we notice is the intense squeezing. The anaconda's stomach muscles are incredibly powerful, and they'll contract rhythmically to help break down our meal. That's us, unfortunately. It might feel a bit like being in a washing machine on a very intense cycle. But the danger lies in the stomach's contents. Anacondas produce incredibly strong gastric acids and enzymes, designed to break down even the toughest prey, like bones, scales, and feathers. Remember that alligator skin we mentioned earlier? It dissolved in just 3 days. Our skin, being much softer, would likely dissolve even faster. As the acids and enzymes start to work their magic, we feel a burning sensation all over our bodies. It is incredibly painful and weakening. Our muscles and organs start to break down, and we slowly lose the ability to move or even think clearly. But it's the reality of what happens inside an anaconda's stomach. It's a harsh and unforgiving environment designed to extract every last bit of nutrition from its prey. Okay, we've made it through the stomach. While that was undoubtedly the most difficult part of our journey, the adventure isn't quite over yet. As we move out of the stomach, we enter the small intestine. Here, the anaconda's digestive process continues, but it's a bit less intense than the stomach. The small intestine is where the snake's body absorbs most of the nutrients from its meal. The liver and pancreas release additional enzymes into the small intestine to help break down the remaining tissues. By this point, most of our body would be unrecognizable. Only the toughest materials, like hair and nails, would remain intact. Finally, we reach the large intestine. This is where the indigestible parts of the meal, along with any waste products, are compacted and prepared for excretion. And then, after a few weeks of this incredible journey, we'd be, well, let's just say we'd reached the end of the line. It wouldn't be a glamorous exit, but it would be the final chapter in our anaconda adventure. Could you survive all this? Now, let's be realistic. The chances of surviving a trip through an anaconda's digestive system are incredibly slim. We're talking virtually impossible, and the combination of suffocation, crushing forces, and powerful digestive acids would be too much for any human to withstand. But let's have a bit of fun and explore some hypothetical scenarios. What if we were wearing a special protective suit? Could we withstand the acids and enzymes long enough to be excreted? Or what if we found a way to disrupt the snake's digestion? Perhaps by creating a blockage or triggering a vomiting reflex. While these scenarios are entertaining to consider, they're ultimately just that, hypothetical. The reality is that messing with an anaconda is an incredibly dangerous idea. Anacondas are powerful predators that deserve our respect. The best way to survive an encounter with an anaconda is to avoid it altogether. Admire these amazing creatures from a safe distance, and let's leave the close encounters to the wildlife experts. So, there you have it. We've taken a wild ride through the anatomy and digestive system of an anaconda, imagining what it would be like to be swallowed whole. It's a terrifying thought, but it's also a fascinating glimpse into the power and complexity of nature. Do you think there's any scenario where a human could survive being swallowed by an anaconda? Let's discuss this in the comments. And that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed watching it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our future videos. We have more amazing videos coming up, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and see you next time.